Right now on WRAL, a court battle is looming over the future of a controversial school voucher program. How some parents say it could negatively change the way children are educated.
Some college students could find out class is canceled permanently. How alumni are trying to keep the doors open. And later,
and some people are pretty amazed when I pull my pants leg up and show it to them. They go, oh.
The focus on a local university's push to recreate a bionic leg for amputees. Good morning, I'm Hector Mejia.
And I'm Brianna Foster. Thanks for joining us. We begin this morning with a hot debate in the education world. Vouchers meant to fund private school for thousands of students are on hold.
Opponents say that money could go toward public schools. Supporters say it's a way for their children to achieve the American dream. Irfan Urazi is outside the Wake County State Capitol where supporters plan to appeal the injunction. Irfan?
Many parents were hoping that this upcoming school year, their children could do what they would normally do, study, go outside for recess, and maybe draw with some chalk on the sidewalks, but at a private school rather than a public one. And I'm going to draw something of my own, and I'm going to show you an important number. That number is 2,400. That's the number of low-income families that will no longer be able to enroll their child in a private school using a taxpayer-funded voucher. Now, the future of the voucher program is in question, and the parents depending on that program are in limbo.
Who are these people?
Raleigh's Wanda Medina is a mother of two.
Say hi.
There's Aiden.
That's Adrian. He's like good with building stuff. He built the castle with little figures and, oh, here it is. He did it out of boxes and it's really nice. I'm like, I think you might be an engineer one day. This is a picture of him.
Wanda wants the best for her budding engineer.
I saw how my parents, worked so hard, to put like my sister and I in a private school. And I want the same thing that I had.
That's why Wanda applied for an opportunity scholarship.
What's up?
It would allow Adrian to leave public school and attend private school on a voucher.
Every child is important in North Carolina.
Daryl Allison is leading the push.
We had nearly 5,000 applications from low-income families.
But a judge halted the voucher program.
The principle is important.
Attorney Robert Orr opposes the program and says the legal question is
whether using tax dollars for education at a private school is for a public purpose.
We cannot let poverty dominate the very thing that's going to liberate a child to achieve the American dream in North Carolina.
But now that the program's been halted, enrolling in a private school like this one isn't an option anymore for Wanda and Adrian. Opponents say that voucher money could be better spent improving public schools across the state.
Teacher salaries, facilities, technology, you can always use more money.
While the battle rages, it seems Wanda will.
Hopefully wait till maybe next year that this scholarship is available because I really want to take advantage of the scholarship.
Now that state law originated in the Capitol building behind me. That was right here. Now the big question will be whether it's a violation of the state constitution. I spoke to one lawyer who told me that he fully expects voucher supporters to appeal the decision in the coming months. Back to you.
Definitely a major question, Irfan. Thanks for that report. Before the court-ordered injunction, the state received more than 4,700 applications for opportunity scholarships. They came from families in at least 89 of the 100 counties in the state. Mecklenburg County had the most applications. Wake County was second, followed by Cumberland and Guilford.
More school boards in our area are speaking out against a new state law. The law ends teacher tenure, or what educators call career status. It also offers pay raises to 25% of each district's teachers. At least 2 counties, including Durham and 1 teacher organization, are filing lawsuits against the state over the law. This week, the Cumberland County Board of Education took up the issue. In a unanimous vote, they decided to ask lawmakers to repeal the law. More than a dozen counties want to see it repealed, including Wake and Durham.
The investigation into photographs of nude teenagers posted online continues to grow. The investigation started in Wake County last month. Now Alamance, Guilford, and Cabarrus counties are part of the case. That brings the total number of counties involved to 12. A Rowan County High School student faces the first charges in connection to that investigation. Sheriff's deputies arrested 17-year-old Juan Bautista at the school. He is charged with cyberbullying. Investigators say he created an Instagram account and posted a nude photo of a 15-year-old girl. The SBI says the Rowan County investigation is separate from their investigation into similar cases.
It's no secret that many colleges face financial struggles.
Now, those struggles could cost thousands of students in the Triangle their chance at a college education. Nikel Smith explains how alumni at one school are fighting to ensure their university's doors stay open.
Well, Hector, the schools in trouble are historically black colleges and universities, better known as HBCUs, like the one behind me. 9 of the 11 HBCUs in our state are facing declining enrollment numbers. And while fewer students, that equals less money. But at Shaw University, their alumni are stepping in with a plan that they hope will help. Cindy Brooks Parks graduated from Shaw in 1998.
What does it mean for you to be a Shaw Bear?
Very emotional. I love Shaw. It's right up in the top 3. First, God, my son, marriage and home, and a Shaw Bear.
She's been giving back to her alma mater ever since, serving as president of the Shaw Alumni Association in Durham.
You have the people that are diehard like me and some of the ones at Shaw University that we give our last.
Some HBCUs may be seeing their last days as financial issues take a toll. St. Augustine's University almost shut down its campus during spring break this week just to save money. Like many HBCUs, they depend on alumni donations to keep their doors open.
We always say it doesn't matter how much you give as long as you give.
In an effort to build stability here, the alumni plan to construct a granite wall where donors can have their names engraved, all in an effort to encourage more people to give back to the next generation of Shaw Bears. So students like George Sinkler, do you plan on giving back to Shaw after you graduate?
I do.
Can pay for an education.
You shouldn't forget who helped you along the way.
Sinkler needs financial aid, much of which comes from endowments and alumni donations.
Being a Shaw Bear means everything to me. It is who I am.
Brooks Parks hopes Sinkler and other students will remember what their school means to them long after they graduate.
Every day, well, I'm afraid that one year we won't have homecoming because there's no school, there's no homecoming, there's no Shaw University.
Yeah, Shaw's Alumni Association has started a number of other fundraising campaigns like the Wall of Shaw, but Brooks Parks says that she just thinks there still isn't enough money being donated to support these students. Back to you.
Nikel, thank you.
Money is an issue for the state's public universities as well. University of North Carolina system leaders are pulling back on their requests for additional construction money for next year. That's after State Budget Director Art Pope called the $74 million request unrealistic. But UNC system leaders are sticking with a request for $108 million to operate UNC campuses. That's 4.5% more than this year's total appropriation. The issue of legalizing medical marijuana is hitting home for one local family. In 3 minutes, why they're hoping lawmakers will act soon and what has some in the legislature concerned.
Plus, an update to the NC Fortified project. Has Old Man Winter's punch knocked construction off track?
And rising from the ashes, a popular pub makes its grand reopening after it was destroyed in a fire.
What would you do if effective medical care for your child meant breaking the law? Some parents are facing that question when their severely sick child could benefit from medical marijuana products.
And this is becoming a hot topic of discussion. Elaine Rodriguez joins us live to tell us why this is catching some lawmakers' attention. Eileen?
Lawmakers here in Raleigh aren't talking about medical marijuana right now, but they could be soon. I spoke with a family in Clayton who told me why, for them, legalizing medical marijuana is a matter of life or death.
My score is 32.
7-year-old Olivia Domer had her first seizure 3 years ago, and it changed everything.
You know, she's not the same as who she used to be.
Her parents struggle to find the right medication.
Unfortunately, she's been having a lot of side effects and her seizures are still not under control.
Other families told them about the benefits of an oil made from marijuana plants. It's called CBD oil, and it doesn't make you high, but it can stop seizures from happening so often.
So many of them just get these amazing results. And how can you just ignore that?
The push to legalize the oil worries some lawmakers.
My concern is whether or not North Carolina would effectively regulate medical marijuana so that it wouldn't get passed into the general population.
Last year, the bill that would have legalized medical marijuana was killed in a rules committee. So for any change to happen, a lawmaker would need to reintroduce the bill. And there's more to consider than just the pros and cons of the drug itself. For example, some lawmakers want to make sure there's enough money appropriated to enforce the law. And then things could start looking up for Olivia.
I do think that medical marijuana is coming to North Carolina.
And it can't come soon enough.
It's just our whole life is this. And the stress is just hard.
The Domers told me that they'll be moving to Colorado this summer, where Olivia is on a waiting list for CBD oil made by a special kind of marijuana plant called Charlotte's Web. Representative Insco told me that she's been getting a lot of phone calls from families about CBD oil, and she says that medical marijuana will be legalized eventually here. But for the Domers, eventually is just not good enough. Back to you.
Eileen, thank you. Marijuana use is still illegal under federal law. Even so, 20 states and the District of Columbia have legalized medical marijuana. 2 states, Colorado and Washington, have also legalized recreational marijuana use. And just this week, elections officials in Washington, D.C. have agreed to let voters decide whether to legalize possession of up to 2 ounces of pot. That's on the ballot in November.
Work on the NC Fortify project is forging ahead after weeks of nasty weather. Winter blasts delayed lane closures needed to start construction. With the proper barriers now in place, crews will soon start ripping up asphalt to be replaced. Right now, construction is taking place from the 40 split all the way to just north of the Knightdale bypass. WRAL has the latest information from DOT on the Fortify project. Just log on to WRAL.com and search Fortify. A bridge in Raleigh is closed after an inspection revealed structural deficiencies. We're talking about the bridge along Lake Dam Road between Avent Ferry and Tryon Roads. Inspectors say they found 2 beams showing signs of failure. The city says the bridge is shut down indefinitely.
Just over a year ago, WRAL showed you this scene of the Hibernian pub. Smoke pouring out of the Glenwood South icon after an accidental grease fire ripped through the building. Now, the popular restaurant has risen from the ashes, bigger and better than ever. Customers have been back and forth since reopening 2 weeks ago. The space is now 2 levels with an outdoor patio. Owner Niall Hanley held a ribbon cutting Thursday to officially celebrate. He says he's glad to be back in business on Glenwood South.
Today, it's kind of nice to see the official, a ribbon cutting per se. I've never had a ribbon cutting before, so this is the first. It's been a long 15 months, and I think the biggest thing that I'm most excited about is just seeing all the regulars again.
The Hibernian on Glenwood South has been a Raleigh staple for 15 years. Hanley says he hopes the pub will be around decades longer. Law enforcement will be cracking down on drinking and driving this weekend. A Booze It and Lose It campaign sponsored by the Governor's Highway Safety Program is now underway. It runs through Monday, St. Patrick's Day. During the campaign, local and state law enforcement agencies will increase patrols to target drunk drivers.
A Triangle research team is working to make life easier for amputees.
Stick your leg in there and go whoop, whoop, and you're out the door. That's that fast.
Coming up next, we'll show you what else patients think about this bionic leg. Using a pencil or walking around might seem like simple tasks to most people. Now imagine trying to accomplish this without an arm or a leg.
It's a reality for nearly 2 million Americans. Kara Dixon is at NC State, where she says researchers have found a way to make life easier. Kara?
For 5 years, NC State has worked to improve life for amputees. Researchers here have created a prototype leg that not only walks, but listens.
So I'm not sitting inside.
Tom York has adapted a lot since a hunting accident left him an amputee.
You just can't do what you used to do, but you make things so you can get around, just like my shop here. Everything's where I can get at it.
But York has adjusted well with the help of technology, and most people don't even realize it.
And some people are pretty amazed when I pull my pants leg up and show it to them. They go, oh.
NC State is developing a new prosthetic leg to help amputees like Tom.
We use the person's intent to drive the lower level controller to automatically generate the healthy knee motion.
It's called the listening leg because it responds to patients.
You can see it's a mimic the healthy leg motion.
The team is also working on a bionic arm that responds to the patient's intent. This arm can not only grab, but rotate just like a natural hand. The hand is still in early stages of development, but patients are already testing the bionic leg.
Most of them like it because its power can provide them more ability to negotiate on different terrain.
York is hopeful about the bionic leg, but his type of injury requires something faster and easier to use.
Stick your leg in there and go whoop, whoop, and you're out the door. That's that fast.
York hopes one day to develop his own prototype, helping amputees around the world.
And for somebody, a man or woman that's always had to sit down because they're missing a limb, that's a big deal to be able to stand up and face you.
The research team hopes that one day their prototype can be used for preclinical trials. Back to you.
Thanks, Kara.
That's not the only research going on at NC State. President Obama tapped the campus to host an innovation hub. The funding comes from a $70 million grant from the Department of Energy because the hub will pair research and industry to work towards building a better semiconductor. The president came to campus to make the announcement in January. Raleigh will host one of 7 so-called climate hubs across the country. This is video of the grand opening for the Southeast Climate Science Center at NC State earlier this year. The hubs should help farmers and rural communities by assessing local climate risks such as drought and wildfires and develop plans for dealing with them.
Thank you for watching this special newscast produced by the fellows participating in the CBC UNC Diversity Fellowship.
Have a great day.